Hare Krishna. In this video we are going to see the importance of remembering the Lord at the time of death. That is, when you leave this material body, what will happen? So what life you will get? What will be your next life? All that will be covered in this video, and there is a story also related to this about King Bharata, Maharaja Bharata story. Maharaja Bharata was born as a deer in his next life. So, Krishna says that in the last minute, what you remember, you will become that. So, there are two shlokas we are going to see from Bhagavad Gita, that is shloka number 5 and 6. So, let's go to the shloka. It is Antakale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram yaprayati samadbhavam yati nastyatra samshayaha. So here Krishna says Antakale, in the last minute, at the time of death, what will you think? Smaran muktva kalevaram. Smaran means smaranam. What will you remember? Muktva, at the time of leaving the body. Kalevaram means body. So you will become that. Yaprayati samatbhavam. You will become that. In this there is no doubt. Nastyatra samshayaha. So in this he says asamshayaha. There is no doubt that in the last minute what will you think? You will become that. I said I will tell you Maharaja Bharata story also. So we will start with the story and then we will see the next shloka also related to this. Here Maharaja Bharata, as the name indicates, he is a great king and he used to do all types of sacrifices, but he don't expect anything in return because he is a very advanced devotee. Then why he is doing lots of sacrifices is because he knows that whatever sacrifice you do, the ultimate enjoyer is the Supreme Lord Krishna or Narayana. So he knows that the ultimate enjoyer of all types of sacrifices is Narayana. So only he is doing. And the arms of Narayana is Indra. And the eyes of Narayana is sun and the moon. So whatever sacrifice, fire sacrifice, that is yajna, havan or homa you do, the ultimate yajna purusha. So who is the yajna purusha? Who is the Lord of sacrifice? It is me. Krishna says it is me who is the Lord of sacrifice. So he accepts Vishnu Tattva or Narayana accepts the ghee or rice puff, whatever you are pouring. And the devas are not giving you the benefit because the devas actually are getting the instruction from the Lord and then they are giving the benefit. So the ultimate benefit giver is the Supreme Lord Hari. So he understands all this very clearly. He knows that each and every limb or each and every body part of the Lord are the Devatas. So he understands that very clearly and he was not doing any offense of abusing any Devata because he knows that if you are abusing one Devata, it means you are abusing one body part of the Lord. So we need to be very careful. So he was doing the sacrifice but he did not expect anything in return. He was only doing to satisfy the Lord because he is the ultimate receiver of all the yajna pujas. So he was this great Raja finally decided to leave everything, to leave the kingdom, to leave his kids, kith and kin, everything. Because that is a practice followed in those days, that is called Vanaprastha. So after certain age, after you have performed all your duties, you leave everything and you go to the forest and you do tapas or you do dhyanam to realize yourself. to realize from where you came to, because Bhagavan says, I live in your heart. He is Brahman in our heart. He is a Brahman. So, to understand that Brahman, to realize himself, he left everything and he went to Pulahashrama, which is in Nepal, where Gandaki river is flowing. Gandaki river is where you find the Shaligram Shila. Shila means stone. Shaligrama is the form of Lord Narayana. You will find the black stone only in Gandaki river. It is so auspicious river that when you take a dip in the river, your mountain size sins will be reduced to nothing. And people still used to perform Tarpan there. They perform the annual rites of their ancestors there. And I think it is called Muktinath now. The current name of Pulahashrama is Muktinath. So he went in that ashrama, in that beautiful Himalaya hilly region, and you can see, you can even understand the atmosphere, how beautiful it is, because it is in the Himalaya region where he went to do tapas. And he was doing everything properly till he saw that fawn. Fawn means baby deer. So what happened? There was a pregnant deer. Okay, the pregnant deer was drinking water to quench its thirst. At that time, this deer heard the roaring sound of a lion. So he was petrified, and then he delivered, because the deer was frightened so much that she delivered the baby and crossed the river and went that side and died. So because in delivery it is very normal that this death happens. So the deer died because it was too frightened. The deer died, and then this fawn became orphan now. This baby deer is orphan. So this Bharata Maharaja left everything, but he became so affectionate towards this fawn because he realized that it is orphan, it lost its mother. So who will take care of this baby deer, he thought, and then he was taking care of it very nicely. So this Bharata Maharaja story is in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 7. So in Chapter 7 of Canto 5, you can see his fire sacrifice details, and then how he left the kingdom, where he left everything. And then in the next chapter, Chapter 8 of Canto 5, the lamentation, how he was lamenting, that is how he was saying, like what words he used when he was separated from that baby deer. Everything is mentioned in detail in the entire chapter. So he started lamenting, means he was saying some worried words, because he was taking care of it like his own baby. Like when your son or daughter is coming back from school after 4 hours or 5 hours. So in that 5 hours, what and all you will think, what thoughts will come in your mind. So what happened to your son, what happened, where she left, any kidnap happened, all these things will come in your mind, no? So all these things came in his mind also. Whether any animal attacked, whether lion attacked or a tiger attacked, all this he was thinking, oh my God, what mistake I did, how can I be so careless that I left this baby deer, and where she is running, all this he was thinking. So he forgot why he was there, why he came to the forest. He left the kingdom, he left his family, and he left that great wealth, and then he came to this forest to do tapas, to realize himself. But he was so attached to this baby deer, as if the baby deer is born to satisfy him, he thought. And then he used to sleep with the baby deer. He used to keep that baby deer on his chest. He gets great satisfaction from that. And then he was just treating that baby deer like his own baby. And then he was suddenly missing, so he was lamenting, great lamentation going on. He is so worried, thinking so much. And then finally, at the time of death, the baby deer was sitting next to him like a son at the time of his death, the last minute, Antakale, the last minute he thought about that deer. Finally, what happened? That we will see after we see another shloka, that is 6th shloka of Bhagavad Gita from 8th chapter, that is Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajat yante kalevaram tam tamevaiti kaunteya sada tatbhava bhavitaha. So here Krishna says yam yam vapi, in what state smaran bhavam, in what state you remember and die in your last minute, you will become that Kaunteya, you will attain that same state Kaunteya, that is Kaunteya means Kunti's son Arjuna. So he refers him, he addresses him like Kaunteya only in most of the shlokas. So Krishna says here that in the previous shloka he says that in the last minute what you think you will become that, but when you think of me you will come to me without a doubt, asamshaya. He says in the previous shloka of this that without a doubt you will attain me. And in this next shloka he is saying in what state you die, whether you state in the mode of goodness, that is whether you die with sattva guna or rajo guna or tamo guna, in what guna you will die, you will get that same guna in your next life. He is saying in this shloka, that is if you are dying with too much of tamo guna, too much of terror, too much of revenge in your heart, maybe you will be born as an animal like a tiger or a lion. So he says very clearly that the last minute thoughts are very important in this two shlokas. So now let's go to Maharaja Bharata. So he thought about the deer in his last minute, then he was born as a deer in his next life. So after that also, after a deer what birth he got, all that we are not going to see in this video. Okay, because his tapas was not wasted. Even though he was born as a deer, he remembered his past life and he acted accordingly. So is it very easy to remember the Lord at the time of death? No, it is not easy, because the pain of death is equivalent to 40,000 scorpion bites. This is what is said in Garuda Purana. The pain is so much that you will not remember the Lord at the time of death. To remember the Lord even in that great pain, you need to have a practice. What practice? Chanting practice. So from childhood, we should not wait till our retirement age, because practice makes the person perfect. So by practicing chanting from the childhood or remembering the Lord from the childhood, we can remember the Lord even at the time of death, even in that great pain. The pain may be emotional or the pain may be physical. So some intelligence will question that some are dying in sleep, many will die in sleep. So it's a silent death, most peaceful death we think. No, maybe their emotional pain is equivalent to that many scorpion bites. So the pain is either emotional or physical. So this is what we need to understand. So you have to remember the Lord all the time, constantly. Then only you can think of the Lord at the time of death. This is what we understood from this Bhagavad Gita shloka, and also from the story of Maharaja Bharata from Srimad Bhagavatam. So please forward this. Even if you don't remember the Lord constantly, at least others will remember. This video may help others to remember the Lord constantly. Hare Krishna.